Hello, people. Thanks for coming tonight to witness and experience my first presentation ever in my life. And the topic of tonight, based on who I am, who is Matt Roseman and Matt's PC and Mac service, is when is it time to upgrade? Because we all have that question of when you can't please have to give the host permission to record. Okay, that's weird. Can anybody hear me okay? Okay, good. All right, so we all have the time where we have to go and get something different when it comes to our technology, or even other things like cars or houses, or other household things that we need to go buy. So the question is when is it time to stay or time to go, hence the computer clash. So what I'm about to present to you guys tonight is a series of steps that you should be taking in order to ensure that when you go upgrade, you do so the right and correct way, and that you account for all the possible aspects. And I'm here to handhold you through that process. So without further ado, let me get my presentation going and we're going to get started here. So let me share my PowerPoint here, or my keynote, I should say. It should be up. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. So let me go back here, share screen. I said not showing it. Desktop one. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let me share this here, and let me go to keynote here. Okay, can anybody see? Okay, so let's here. So, do I stay or do I go? My guide to telling you when it's time to upgrade your gadgets. Let's try to move it so I can see the windows here. Okay, so based on all this, why do we upgrade? So Z, why do you feel that you need to upgrade when you do? What are the reasons that you typically think about when you try to go upgrade something technologically speaking?
To prevent any hacking, or to make sure that my computer is up to date so it's not vulnerable to cybersecurity attacks.
Okay, and Suzanne, why do you upgrade your technology?
So my computer is faster when I edit videos.
And Dawn, why do you upgrade your technology?
So my computer is more up to date with the software that I use. I won't lie, especially the games that I play.
Okay, so we all have our different reasons and our different, motives or alternative motives on why we sit there and we get a newer device based on the fact that whatever we have now is not cutting it. But there's a lot more to that than just what we had mentioned briefly here. So a lot of times we feel the need or want new adventures of joy and happiness. So again, it's like, when you're a kid and it's the holiday season, or it's your birthday, and you get something new, you get that euphoria, not the HBO show, where you're sitting there and you get a new toy, you get to unwrap it and experience all the goodies, the feeling and the emotions that go into all that. The next thing is that it's not just the joy and happiness, but also the negativity. So for example, how many people here by a show of hands had a major crisis with their technology and they're forced to upgrade almost immediately because it was a crisis? Okay, so Dawn is one of those people, Suzanne is one of those people where we get afraid and we become like a deer in the headlight because we panic because our lives are on the computer and our livelihoods are on the computer. For example, with me, my main computer of 8 years old one day decided to sound like a hair dryer or like a plane taking off. And I looked at how hot it was almost near 100 degrees Celsius, and it scared the shit out of me. And so I panicked because I didn't want the whole machine going down. I don't want to sit there and have a problem where either I lost information or it'd be a major aggravation to sit there and then reinstall everything. And I got lucky where I was able to stabilize it long enough for many days until I was able to copy everything over and move it on to another computer I bought last year. So again, you don't realize you take it for granted that it's working now until it goes down, and then at that point you have the hindsight. So we all have that. We all know what it's like to feel helpless, and that's why also we upgrade as well when we go through that situation. The next reason why is that, you know, we have hand-me-downs. So how many people, by a show of hands, have gotten a hand-me-down when it comes to their technology or something, you know, that they use? Okay, so even though everybody has their hands up, this is still a hand-me-down. So and so that's something that we think, you know, we have other relatives or our parents or our siblings, they'll get something newer, and then we'll get the, you know, the thing that they had that was older. So that's where you also will do it as well. The other side of the coin is that if you get new technology, it'll serve a significant importance going forward, where it will give you time, 5 to 10 years or many years of enjoyment or functionality, as opposed to what you have now, which could be end of life or it can't get updated. And so that's why we do it. So moving on and moving along. Dun, dun, dun. When do we upgrade? So we identified, you know, why we upgrade, but when do we upgrade? Well, do we wait for a sale or holiday or birthday? For example, President's Day is coming up. My birthday is next week. You know, do we, you know, buy things then, you know, when there's a sale or it's a holiday or birthday? Do we, in my instance, you know, we buy whatever we can because we need it now because we're down. And then we don't have that lack of choice or circumstance and the frustration that comes along with that, with being backed into corner. You don't have the flexibility of waiting so long, so you get what you can to get yourself back up again. Or the funny one, which I love, is do we kiss ass and bribe somebody to buy it for us? You know, how many times were you guys a kid and you would say to your parents, well, I'll do this and I'll do that and I'll get better grades and I'll do the chores if you buy me this for my birthday, or you buy me this for Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever, and, you know, you'll try to get somebody else to get it for you. Even for significant others, you know, I'll do the laundry, I'll sit there and I'll do the housework if you get me this, you know. So you can have somebody else do it for you, and then at that point you don't have to worry about, you know, how much it costs to upgrade. Or unfortunately, not everybody has the luxury of being able to pay for certain things or buy new technology, and they have to wait because bills and people and expenses come first, and they can't afford to do it, so they have to wait to sit there and do so. The other side that can also happen as well is that you have an old device that's worth money and you try to sell it or you trade in to sit there and get something new. For example, the Apple Watch I have. I had a Series 5, I now have a Series 7. I was able to get money for the Series 5 to Apple and save money on the one that I got. Same thing for the MacBook Air that I'm on now. So you can always sit there and trade in or sell your old model, get money for it, and use that toward a new purchase. So now that we know how and when to upgrade, or how we upgrade, this is what the next step is. So just like CNC Music Factory, things to make you go, So, okay, we know we need to upgrade. What do we get? You just can't say, okay, I need to buy a car. You got to figure out, okay, well, what car manufacturer do you want? Or what model do you want? Same with the computers. Say I want a Dell computer, HP computer. You have to know which particular model that you want that would suit your needs based on certain criteria. And nothing's perfect out there. Technology's not perfect. People's not perfect. Tom Brady, despite going, you know, retiring into 22 years, he wasn't perfect, you know. And so every technology has its positives and its negatives. You know, whether it comes to Apple or Google or Microsoft, they all have their their strengths and their weaknesses. So you have to decide what's best for you and what feels right based on who you are and what you do and what your comfort level is. And you have to say to yourself, okay, well, how does this model compare to other models by the same manufacturer or a competitor? For example, with the Apple Watch, there's Fitbit, there is Google Wear. There's even like Rolex now, they have smart watches. So there's a number of different factors that are out there, and you have to compare, the features and the competitors and what's going to be best for you in terms of who you are and what you want to do. And the question is okay, now, well, we got this far, where do we go purchasing and get the best deal possible? Because we have to start, looking around to see how we're going to get all these different things or get what we want. So based on all that, where do we go to research it? Because now that we know that we want, do we just blindly go and, buy whatever, and just, on a whim and see what happens? Or, do we try to sit there and put some effort and thought into it or some logic in it by saying, okay, let me do some homework here. Let me make sure that what I think and what I feel is the right thing, or let me figure it out at all. So it's important to do your online research. How many people here do online research? Everybody does online research. So we all know what significance that is in order for us to gain more knowledge or gain more insight or get a different perspective besides other people we may speak to or even ourselves. So great source of information, CNET.com. I'm on CNET right now. They're talking that endangered animals are going to become NFTs. McDonald's bringing back a new apple pie, talking about Boba Fett, and they're talking about Wordle and a winter storm, and even the best drones for 2022 and the best knives to buy. So you get the point. So CNET's a great source because it's like the free version of Consumer Reports, and you get a whole bunch of reviews and information. If you don't want to sit there and do all the legwork, CNET will sit there and do it for you. It's not just that. There's also a bonus when you decide to go shopping online. There's something called Honey. And Honey is not just what the bees do. It's also what you put on your Chrome or your Firefox or your Safari in outlying country or even Chrome to sit there and to be able to use coupon codes when you go check out. And so you can save money in that respect. So based on the fact that now we've done our research, guess what time it is for? It is time to actually go shopping. So it's time to make our purchase. So when we make our purchase, okay, well, what store company do you buy from? Do you go to Walmart? Do you go to Office Depot? Do you go to Amazon? What's going to do it for you in terms of where you want to go? Now, out of those places I mentioned, do you shop locally or online? If you shop online, you don't have to go anywhere. Everything's at your fingertips. And you can shop for also the best deals and compare a whole bunch of online retailers. But guess what? You can't go locally to a store and return it. You have to go, bring it back, ship it back to there. Or do you go locally where you won't have as much choice, but you have the luxury of bringing it back to the store and then getting your money back or whatever else. And when there's a hassle, there's a problem, which leads me to my next thing. When you are purchasing something, you just can't purchase something. You have to think about, well, the what if factor. And the what if factor is, well, when you purchase something online, what's the exchange policy? Let's say the thing you bought is defective. You just want the same thing, but you don't want the one that is broken. Okay, great. Okay, how about the return? Let's say you don't like it at all and you want it back. So how long does it take to get your money back? How long can you sit there and wait to get your money back before you can't get it back anymore? And every store will have its own different policies in this, including the online and including the local stores. So that's something that you always want to sit there and consider when you are making purchases. It's not just the sale, but when you have to, return it, how good is that company or that online store in terms of their support policy? And depending on where you go, will they sit there and match prices? So or locally online. For example, if I go to Chick-fil-A, there we go, there's Chick-fil-A. And if I say to Chick-fil-A, okay, I want you to match the price of Burger King and McDonald's when it comes to your chicken. They're gonna tell me, okay, it's time to put down the crack pipe. Well, actually, if they said that, that'd be hilarious. They probably would never say that, but I'm just saying that, you can't go to Chick-fil-A and tell them, okay, match McDonald's and Burger King. But guess what? Even though Chick-fil-A, no product placement here, won't sit there and do it for you, Best Buy will. So if you go to, Amazon has it, cheaper, and Best Buy chances are will match it. So depending on the store, you could do it. Costco won't, but Best Buy probably will. So again, it depends on how you do your shopping, if they're coupons, if something's on sale. There are a lot of different ways to save money, and I can always help you with those processes as well. So based on all of that, where do I come into the picture? Besides the fact that I can put burning flames on my screen. And there's me giving help to people, or I wish I looked that good. So how to contact me. So now that I give you all this information and you're curious about what it takes to upgrade and all the steps that do it, how do you come and find me? Well, guess what? I'm not that hard to find. You can find me on my website at mattspcservice.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. You get a whole bunch of information about who I am there, what other people said about me, and my list of contacts who have personally known me, and I've helped those people out. You can find me there. You also can find me on Calendly. Let's say you want to schedule a one-on-one and you want to know more about this slide and the process on how to upgrade and how I can assist you with all that, where I handhold you like Hootie and the Blowfish. You can also do that as well. And let's say you want to see me in action. You want to see me on a podcast and hear me speak to other people and have a crowd of followers. If you want to learn more about me, both personally and professionally, Russ Johns is a very nice guy. He hosts the Pirate Podcast, R-B, the podcast. And you can sit there and go watch him and learn more about him and see me on there and get to know me better in that respect. So that concludes my presentation for now. If anybody has any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, I'm going to open the forum up, and thank you for allowing me to speak. I appreciate all you guys and allow me to give you my presentation for tonight.
Thanks, Matt. That was great.
Thank you.
Great job.